Hello knitters, Phelan from Strands Knitting Studio in San Clemente, California, and today I have classes and I have a tutorial, so stay tuned. I'm going to go through the classes first. This Sunday is the Fix-It class. It's full. It's full, totally full. But I'm going to reschedule this in a couple months, so I'll let you know when that happens. And so you can get it on your calendar, because it really is a good class to take to learn how to do all the super basic stuff that we need to do to help our knitting when it needs help. So look for the class to show up again in another couple months. Next class is the Bunny Pillow class. Here's Bunny Pillow. Cute, cute. This is Intarsia. That's where you're using this pillow, you'll use 3 strands that are going all the time. You'll have them hooked onto your knitting. You'll have a pink one, and you'll use the pink one till you need the white one. Then you pick up the white one that's gonna be sitting right there. You're gonna go around here, and then you'll pick up the pink one that's sitting right here, and you're gonna go to the end, and then you come back and do the same thing. So this is it's not a difficult pattern at all, because you only have the 3. And once you get it going, it's the same thing. The original pattern had 3 bunnies. I think mine was enlarged from there. I used bigger yarn, I think, or bigger needles, and I did it as 1 bunny, because the one with 3, if you're gonna do it, the one with 3 has, like, I don't know, it's 6, 8, 9 threads hanging off the back. So for most people, that's a little overwhelming, especially if it's your first Intarsia. But this is Intarsia class, and it is Sunday, February 15th. Yeah, Sunday, February 15th, and that would be 10 to 12. And the other class coming up in February is the vest class. So this is the first of 4 different garment classes I'm going to do this year. And the vest class is the first one, and it's on, when is it? Vest is February 28th from 12 to 2. So that's a Saturday, February 28th. So we're just going to do a basic vest slip over. They're calling them slipovers these days. This is mine so far. And I'm almost done with that. I'm almost at the point where I'm going to rib the bottom, and then I'm going to be picking up the arms and the neck edge and doing ribbing right on those. So this one is almost done. And it's, again, basic. Now this, the tutorial that's coming up is German short rows, and this has German short rows in it. And as I talked about, lots of patterns are using German short rows right now for the back of your neck, and it works beautifully. I love the way all of this, the pick up at the shoulder, I love all the way all of it looks, because it looks really clean. It's a very clean look that you don't always get when you're doing pieces and sewing shoulders and stuff. This is just so clean looking. The edges are clean. I really, really like it. So that class is on February 28th. This is a DK white yarn I'm using, and it's the new Rambouillet that we've got. And this yarn's amazing. This yarn is just amazing. And so this is sourced from the States. The sheep is Rambouillet. This is actually an extra fine merino. Rambouillet is, I don't know, I know I'm mispronouncing it, but you know, is a merino sheep. So, but this is the extra fine merino. So it's just, oh, so lovely. And of course we have lots of colors for it. So, but this is a DK weight, and it is on a size 6 needle. So if you want to bump it up a needle, I have a pattern that's basically exactly the same pattern, but it's on a worsted weight. And then you're probably going to be more on a 7 or an 8. If you want to go chunkier than that, no. We'd have to find something I want the same construction, so I'm not teaching different constructions, so it needs to be the same construction. So basically we got DK and worsted, heavy worsted, you know, and where you're either on a 6 or 7 and 8, and that's up to you, and come and pick out yarn, and we have lots to choose from. But just, that's an FYI, you know, if I just want you to know that if you're doing a DK weight yarn, you're on smaller needles, so it's a little bit more knitting. The only thing is you're just knitting it more. You just have to knit more to get the inches, because it's a smaller yarn. Where with the worsted weight, it's a little bigger, so it'll go a little bit faster. That's what the difference between the 2 are. Other than that, also the weight of the knit itself will change, and you know, it'll be a little bit lighter, maybe, depending on yarn. Nah, even weight doesn't matter anymore, because it really depends on the yarn and how it's spun to how heavy it is. It really doesn't have as much to do with the weight as it used to. we bought yarn by the gram, and a DK weight yarn was always, the 50 grams had this much yardage. A worsted weight 50 grams had this much yardage for the most part. It's nothing like that anymore. You know nothing by looking at the grams to how much yarn is on the skein because of the different ways it's spun, the combination of fibers that we use now, the technology, chain stitching. So you have to know how many yards you're needing, not how many grams you're needing. They do not correlate anymore. So the weight of the vest will probably depend more on what the yarn is compared to the weight of the yarn. So anyways, that class is on the 28th of February from 12 to 2. Okay, that's it for this. Now stay tuned. I'm doing the German short row, and so stay tuned for that. It's coming up right now. Okay, this is a tutorial for German short rows. We have some vest patterns coming up and some sweater class patterns that we're going to be doing this year, and they all use German short rows on the back side of the neck, on the back piece and around the neck so that it fits better. So this is a skill that's become like, this is an everyday skill that we all need to know how to do. And so this is how you do it, and that way you can come back to here anytime you want. So what is a short row is when you turn in the middle of a row and you go back the wrong direction or the other direction. So let's say that this is the start. This is your cast on edge for the back of your sweater. Okay. Now short row is going to make the fabric end up looking like this. And the reason that is because you're going to go back and forth on this very smaller thing. So let's say you start your row, it says to go, it'll tell you how many stitches to go, and you go to here. And now it's going to say turn and do a German short row. So you're going to turn, and now you're going to go back this way. And you're going to go back basically to exactly where you were. My pen's going to run out on me, really. And, you know, make that even. And now it's going to say turn. And now you're going to go back, and this time you're going to go a few stitches beyond this. So you correct or work your German short row right there, and I say go 3 stitches more. Okay, then you're going to turn and do your German short row, and then you're going to come back, and again you're going to go like 3 stitches more. This is always equal. The sides are always equal, and now you're going to turn and do a German short row, and then you're going to go like this, and you do the same thing, turn and turn, and you're going further out and further out. Okay, so as you can see, I went in this section, I went a lot more rows than I did over here. I did, like at the very end, you will go all the way to your end here and work them. And then this is how you get that curved effect with the short row. So it is now higher at the neck. This is the neck. And it is shallower, and it also now has an angle for your shoulder, because this is going to be your shoulder stitches. This is going to be your shoulder stitches right here. Sorry, I tested the orange pen and it worked, and this is going to be shoulder issues here. So now the center of your piece is up here where your neck is. These are down, the end of your piece is here where your shoulder is, and your shoulders, you know, the piece is going to end up looking like it's going to be straight, and then it's going to curve down, straight, and then it's going to curve down. And so this is your shoulder. So this is where the neck is, and then you get this automatic angle for your shoulder, because your shoulders go down from your neck. It goes down, you know, it angles down from your neck. And some people angles more than others, but it does angle down from your neck. So now you have an angle here for your shoulders, and you have more up here to go around the back of your neck, which is higher than your shoulders. So as you can see, if you're just doing straight lines, we have this thing to where, well, my shoulders are going to go like here, which means this needs to be higher. And so the pieces don't fit as well. Like the old way of doing this doesn't fit as well. This fits so well because it's actually constructed the way your body is shaped along the back of your neck and shoulders. So that's why we're doing short rows. Now, there are many ways to do short rows, and depending on what pattern you're going to say, there's wrap and turn is the most normal one, the longest, like it's been around forever. Then for a while we did a bunch, we did Japanese ones, we did this, we did that, we had all these other ones. Then German short rows came out, And German short rows are the easiest, they look the best, and you can tell where you've come and gone a little bit easier. And pretty much everybody's at this point into doing short rows with German short rows. If you get a pattern that says wrap and turn, you can still do German short rows. You don't have to do the wrap and turn. It's just that how you turn is just, there's many ways you can turn. Now, why turning is a problem and why you even have to do a technique at the turn. The turning is a problem because you will end up with a hole right where you turned. Because now you've got fabric that's higher on the left side than it is on the right side, and you've got a discrepancy going on. And therefore, if you just turn and go, you're gonna have a hole. So we've gotta do something to get rid of the hole. And so what all the short row techniques have is it's got extra yarn around that stitch, so it helps fill up the hole. So that's why you're having to do a certain technique when you turn in the middle of a row, to fill up the hole that's going to be there because we turned in the middle of the row. I hope that made sense. So German short rows. So this is my cast on back of my neck. I'm going to knit 20 stitches, normal, just everyday knitting because I'm on a knit row. And you pretty much do these on 18, 19, 20. Okay, now it says turn and do your German short row. So I'm going to turn it. And this is a German short row does on everything. Everything is always like this. So no matter if you're on a knit side or a purl side, you're going to have the yarn in front. Even if it's on a knit side, you're going to have the yarn in front. You're going to slip that last stitch you made over, and you're going to pull the stitch. So I'm pulling the stitch up and around the needle. See how the stitch went up and around the needle? I'm pulling it up and around the needle. Now, if I was going on to a knit stitch, I would just knit this. I'm going on to a purl stitch, so I have to now bring it forward so I can purl. Okay, so let me do this all one more time. So for wrap and turn, hold on, I just undid that. Okay, after you turn, with yarn in front, you're going to slip the stitch over. You're going to pull up. And also notice how much this pulls. Like you want to pull it enough to where, you see what happens? My stitches get close to each other again. Okay, and since I'm purling, I'm going to bring it to the front so I can purl. And now I'm going to purl, I think I'll purl until I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 stitches left. Because I don't have a pattern written out. But I'm going to stop at exactly the same place on my other side. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 should be it. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, so there's my 10. I now have 10 stitches here and I have 10 stitches here. All right, so now here I go. I'm gonna turn. Now I'm on the knit side. I'm going to put my yarn forward, even though I'm on the knit side, and I'm going to slip the stitch over. That's all I do. Now I'm going to pull up. It looks different. It doesn't cinch in. To me, it's not as nicely cinched as it is on the other side, but it's still perfectly fine. And you can see I've pulled it up and over so that I've created, like when I knit this, I'm going to knit both of these threads, which is what's going to fill up the hole. Okay, so now I'm going to go, and I'm going to go till I hit the German stitch, the German short row stitch that I did at the end of over here. So I'm going to knit until I get to there. Okay, now I can see it. It's called a double stitch. They call it German. It's a double stitch. You see how it looks? It's got sort of a double stitch. It's got a weird cross thing happening. So it's a very strange stitch. You'll see it because you can't miss it. It's all one stitch. You're gonna just pick up the whole thing because the whole point is it's got more yarn in that stitch to cover up the hole. So you don't wanna break apart the stitch. So you're just gonna pick up the entire stitch and knit it like normal. And that's it, okay? Now I'm gonna knit 2 more after it says now knit 2 stitches or now knit 3 stitches. We'll do 3. And now I'm gonna continue knitting. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm closer, 2, 4, 6 stitches before the end. Turn, slip the stitch over with yarn in front. And again, you're gonna pull it up And this time I gotta pull it around because I'm purling. And now I'm gonna purl to my last double stitch over here. Okay, so now I'm one stitch, see here's my double stitch, it's that weird looking stitch. I'm one stitch before, so I'm gonna purl it. I'm gonna purl the double stitch, picking up all parts of it, not letting any of them off. I'm gonna purl it, and now I'm gonna purl 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm gonna turn it, and I'm gonna slip with yarn in front. Now, if you wanna put markers in just to help you see where you're at and what's going on, you can do that. So I would do it before I do this whole slipping thing so that the marker, you could do it either way. I'm gonna do it after I do the German short row. So I'm gonna slip this with the yarn in front. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna have a marker, put my marker in, and then I can just go ahead and knit the next stitch. All right, pulled up tight, make sure this stays tight. Okay, and now you're marked right before your double stitch, and I'll show, and then I'll show you what we do. Okay, so now I'm gonna go, I'll get back to you after I get over to the other side here. Okay, so I'm almost to my double stitch. I'm one stitch before. So I'm gonna continue to knit this one. I'm gonna knit my double stitch, and I'm gonna knit 3 more. 1, 2, 3. So now I have 3 left on this side, and I have 6 left on this side, I think. Probably just did that uneven, just making up the pattern as I went. Turn, slip with yarn in front, pull it up, put your marker in, and you're gonna purl. And yeah, the markers are a little bit, oh wait, no, I gotta pull my yarn forward. So this is a purl, so I gotta pull my yarn forward. You can also put the marker after the double stitch. It's probably a little less fiddly. I'll do that way so you can see the difference. All right, now I'm going all the way to my marker. I know my marker is where my double stitch is, so I don't even have to worry about it. I can just go all the way to my marker. Okay, so here's my marker. There's my 1 stitch. Take your marker off because you're gonna reset it. There's my double stitch. And I am off in this over here. I must not have gone 3 extra stitches at some point. We won't talk about that because this is just about the process. Okay, knit 3. Knit an extra one just so I'm caught up. Turn. Now you could put your marker, yep, look at that. See, we all make these mistakes. Okay, so you can put your marker on and then do your double stitch and see how that works, if that works better. So again, you're slipping. Yeah, it's gonna work better. I might do that. Slipping with yarn in front, pull up tight, and really pull up tight. Don't do it only halfway, you know. And then now you're gonna knit to the next marker. Let's say this was gonna be that's it, you're done with short rows, it says you're done. So then it's gonna tell you to knit to the end of this row, working the double stitch when you come to it. So now we're gonna just even out the whole thing. So we're gonna go until we get to our marker, because we know that's where our double stitch is. So I don't have to think about it till I get there. Okay, now I'm not gonna be turning anymore, I'm done turning. But I still have a double stitch here that has to get worked. So you're just gonna knit it like you normally would. And then I'm gonna knit to the end. Then I'm gonna go ahead and turn. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna purl this row. When I get over here to where this is, then I'm going to work that stitch and purl to the end. And then that way you resolve, they call resolving. I don't know if that, yeah, I don't know what's resolved, but resolving your double stitches, your double stitches. And then you're going to be ready to move on to pretty much just straight rows probably for a while. Okay, so I'm to my marker. This is the one I did it before I did the double stitch, so it's really easy. That's what I would do. I would put the marker in before you do the double stitch. Here's my double stitch. I'm going to resolve. I'm going to resolve my double stitch. Then I can take my marker off because I'm done with this, and I'm going to continue to purl to the end. Okay, so now we have completed all the double rows, and I want you to look at the shape of this piece. So you can see how it's wider here than it is here. See how it slopes down, and it's wider up here than it is here. And that's why you're doing the double stitches, because that's the shape we want, and that's how you accomplish that shape. So it puts a curve in your knitting. Now short rows can be used for lots of things. Darting, bust darting, it's used for just even stitch definition if you got colors going, used for that. But there are other reasons why you do short rows, but this is becoming an overwhelmingly common thing for sweater knitting, any kind of garment knitting. So I just think it's something you need to add into your technique, your arsenal of things I know how to do. And when I see German short row, I don't have to like go, oh my God, what is that? But anyways, that's why we do German short rows. All right, I hope that tutorial was good and that you're ready to start a vest or a sweater. I think the next sweater I'm going to do is a drop-shouldered sweater, and that's a few months down the road. But if you want to practice your German short rows so you know all about them, if you're going to do that sweater, that's a good idea. If you're coming on the 28th to do the vest, I might do a swatch and sort of practice a German short row so you sort of have that down before you come to class and you don't have to struggle with it. That's a good idea. Okay, so that's it for today, and I hope to see you in the studio real soon.